morning, students. I'm Rose. Today we are in the third session of this chapter, that is class 7 history, chapter 2, the new kings and the new kingdoms in the medieval period. Today we are going to talk about the Rashtrakutas. Okay, so as we have in the last two videos we have talked about the Gujara Pratihara and the Palas. Today we are going to talk about the Rashtrakutas. Okay, so among this Rashtrakuta was the most powerful ruler. Okay, so this was situated in the Deccan region of India. You can see in the map. It is in the middle of India. You can see, and they were the subjects of the Chalukyas. You can see it is beside the Chalukyas, or we can say Chalukyas kingdom. You can see in the southern eastern part of Rashtrakutas. You can see. This Rashtrakutas were the subjects of Chalukyas, as we can say, by the wealth and power. That means when this kingdom, the Chalukyas kingdom, was divided into different districts or the states or the block, what happens? Some of the Samans or the Samantas, they became so much powerful, and they wanted to declare the independent state. So one of them was the Rashtrakutas. So this Rashtrakutas was being formed by the Danti Durga. You can see here. So in AD 753, Danti Durga declared the independent states from the Chalukyas kingdom. That means it is being situated in the Karnataka. Okay, now so you can see that the Samans or the different kings, or we can say different governors, always have the intent, that means always have or wanted to make the different powerful kingdoms. So this was one of that. Okay, so this Danti Durga declared the independent states from the Chalukyas landlord, and he made his capital in the Manyakal, that means in the modern Solapur in the Maharashtra. You can see. Okay, he made the capital there. Okay, so one of the most important thing he did, he performed one of the important ritual, that was called the Hiranya Garbha. Okay, so this Hiranya Garbha was one of the most important rituals to believe that, they used to believe that this is, in English we can say it is called the golden womb. It is called the golden womb. So this was a very important ritual that they used to believe that and this was being performed with the help of Brahmans. Okay, this was being performed with the help of Brahmans. So this Danti Durga, what he did, he performed the Hiranya Garbha. That means he will rebirth or become a Kshatriya king. So this was the belief that when they used to perform this ritual, that is Hiranya Garbha or the golden womb, they believed that they will convert, or we can say they will rebirth into a Kshatriya. So they believed the Kshatriya were the most powerful and the warriors who can rule over any kingdom. That is why they wanted, or we can say they used to convert into a Kshatriya king. So this was one of the most important rituals which was being performed in this region. Okay, so and it was being performed with the help of the Brahmins. Okay, so and this he was being succeeded by his uncle, that is Krishna first. He was being succeeded by his Krishna first, and after that, if you talk about some of the most important kings, we can say Durga, Govinda III, Amogha Varsha. Okay, he was one of the most important ruler, and he reigned over the longest. He ruled over at least 64 years. Okay, he is the only king who ruled over this much long period of time. Okay, so if you talk about this last ruler, that is for Taila was being defeated by the Western Chalukyas. That means when they used to fight, this all kingdom used to fight for each other, or they always become. That means always they wanted to take over each other. That means during the 10th, or we can say the 12th century, this Rashtrakutas, this kingdom, or the ruler of this kingdom, always they conquered till the upper part of India. That means in the northern part of India, and in eastern part of India. So these are the important rulers who extended their kingdom from Deccan Plateau, or we can say Middle India, towards the northern and the eastern part of India. So this is how they extended their kingdom, or we can say expanded the kingdom from middle of India towards the north and the west and east of India. Okay. So this is one of the most important thing which was happening, or we can say which happened in the medieval period. Okay. Another is that if you talk about, they were very they followed different religion. That means we can say they were fond of different religion. They followed all the religion: Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and the Islam, which came Islam itself. They respected all the kingdoms. And one of the most important example, they used to when they used to win any war or any conflict, or we can say any war, they built some of the most important for the remembrance of the future, so that they can remember in the future. So they used to build some temples, some pillars. They used to build. One of the best example, if you talk about the Kailash temple in Ellora. Okay, so this is the most important example of this Rajputas for showing the victory, or we can say showing the victory and how they won over other king. So this is how they show their power and the wealth to other people, and for the remembrance of so that they can remember in the future. So this is what we talked about the Rajputas. Again, another topic we are going to talk, that is the three-parter struggle. So this is the most important topic of these three kingdoms. Okay, these three kingdoms which we talk about. As I have already told you in the last two videos, that these three kingdoms, that means Gujara, Pratihara, Palas and the Rajputas, always fought with each other. Why? Because they wanted to take over each other. That means we can say that Rajputas want to take over the Gujara, Pratihara, or we can say both the kingdoms like Gujara, Pratihara and the Palas, and this Palas wanted to take over this both kingdoms. So this is how they used to have the conflict, or how they used to have war against each other. So what happened, and most important thing in these three kingdoms, what is the main important thing was that they wanted to conquer, all these three kingdoms wanted to conquer the Kannauj, because this was situated in the northern place, which was most fertile and also is the prosperous place, or we can say region of this India. Because of that, these three kingdoms wanted to conquer over the Kannauj. Okay, so when they used to fight with each other, automatically what happened, they did not see behind what is happening, how the kingdom is suffering, how it is suffering from different things. So they did not see, or they did not care. So what happened, slowly these all three kingdoms started to decline, because they started to they started to exploit, or they started to destroy slowly. So what happened? The other kingdoms, like we can say Chauhans, Chandelas, Paramars, or other like Chalukyas, Cholas, these all rulers always wanted to take an opportunity to defeat all these three kingdoms, so that they can have the powerful region, or we can say they can rule over this all region. Okay, so this, if you talk about Chauhans, Chandelas and the Paramars, these all were the Rajput rulers. Okay, so they also wanted to move forward. That means we can say, when they saw these all three kingdoms were become weak, what they did, they become so much powerful, and they took the opportunity to defeat all these three kingdoms. Okay, so today we are going to till here we are going to study. Tomorrow we will see you in the next video. Thank you.